Vice President Kamala Harris made history as the first Black and South Asian woman to become the presidential nominee of a major party in the United States. Harris entered the race after President Joe Biden ended his bid for re-election in July of 2024. Kamala Devi Harris was born on October 20, 1964, in Oakland, California. She was the child of immigrants. Her mother was born in India, and her father was born in Jamaica. Harris graduated from Howard University in Washington, D.C., before returning to the Bay Area to work as a prosecutor. She eventually became the state attorney general in 2010. Harris met her husband, Doug Emhoff, on a blind date in 2013, and they married the following year. She has two stepchildren, Ella and Cole. Harris was then elected to the U.S. Senate in 2016, arriving in Washington at the beginning of the Trump presidency. She secured a spot on the coveted Senate Judiciary Committee, which gave her a national spotlight to interrogate prominent Trump nominees.
You have an impeccable memory. You've been speaking for almost 8 hours, I think more, with this committee about all sorts of things you remember. Yeah. How can you not remember whether or not you had a conversation about Robert Mueller or his investigation with anyone at that law firm?
In 2020, Harris kicked off a presidential campaign with much promise, drawing parallels to President Barack Obama. But Harris withdrew from the race before the Iowa primary, plagued by staff dissent and the inability to attract enough campaign cash. Then presidential nominee Joe Biden chose her as his running mate, and together they won the White House in 2020. In her first months as vice president, Biden asked her to lead the administration's diplomatic efforts with Central America on the root causes of migration to the United States, which triggered attacks from Republicans. For her first 2 years, Harris was also tethered to Washington so she could break tie votes in the evenly divided Senate, which gave Democrats landmark wins on the climate and health care.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the vice president votes in the affirmative and the motion to proceed is agreed to.
After Biden ended his candidacy in July, he quickly endorsed Harris, and during the first 2 weeks of her 2024 presidential bid, enthusiasm among the Democratic base surged.